My name is Rochelle V Gray, and I am the host of the MI Project, aka Multiple Intelligences. And I am giving you a wake-up call. I am asking you to join me every Friday on the Wake Up Call broadcast, network, and social media, where we will ask the question, how are you smart? And soon you're going to be able to provide an answer. See you on Friday. My name is Rochelle V Gray, and I am the host of the MI Project, aka Multiple Intelligences. This is a show that shows our youth and gets our parents to go along with the fact that youth are smart. So we are going to show you and impart to you as to what's your genius. I have a special guest tonight. This is Miss Ashlyn Davis. Hi. I'm gonna mess with her. She is along today because we are starting the broadcast talking about one of the 9 intelligences, bodily kinesthetics. So I'm going to give you a little history. First of all, my company is Empower the Youth. And what we do is we identify and train youth in non-conventional sports. So we have bowling, which Ashlyn is our Greater Charlotte doubles champion of 2017 and 18. Her and her brother blasted their way past 200 other bowlers from Charlotte and the surrounding area and shocked the world. And the awesome thing about that is usually when you bowl in tournament, they will pay out to 1 to 5th position. But both of our teams did so well, we took 1st and 2nd place doubles champion. So I was very excited about that. And the wonderful thing about bowling is they have a smart account because we are sanctioned by the United States Bowling Corp. And every time they win, money goes into their account. And when they turn 18 or graduate high school, all monies are turned over to them and their parents. So I love bowling. Also, we are all about leadership, right? Yes. No cell phone zone. We take care of each other and we have a great time. And even if a kid did not win, because some of our kids are there for social reasons, my company, because of fundraising, still will present a check to them and their parents when they graduate. So, parents, get your kids in non-conventional sports. We also offer chess, golf. We're launching golf this year. And we're going to be launching swimming. We're looking at possibly rugby or lacrosse, swimming and karate. So, we're going to be doing a lot to get our kids. But that is how the Multiple Intelligence Project was born. There's a gentleman whose name is Bruce George, and he is a partner with Russell Simmons of Deaf Poetry Jam. And I always give my kids multiple intelligence tests. I always want them to know how they're smart. So as a result, in school, my kids do very well. Even when they don't try for other teachers, they know that Ms. Gray has said you are smart, and I know how. And one day he found us on LinkedIn, and he said he has this big campaign to bring the word genius back to the average man. When African Americans were coming out of civil rights, there was a paper done by a professor at Stanford who doctrinated or who said what genius was, and it left us out. So his campaign is to bring genius back to the common man. And when he saw that I was teaching the kids chess and had a 7-year-old with hair out the ear who's amazing, he was like, wow, that's her genius. She gets kids to understand all the non-conventional things about them. So I'm going to allude to Ashlyn for a minute, our doubles champion. I'm going to ask her some questions, and then we're going to talk a little bit about what the Multiple Intelligence Project is. So, how was school today?
It was great.
What was great about it?
I
always catch her with that question.
I'm in the IB program at North Mecklenburg High School, and this year I'm in the DP program because I graduated from IB. And I take 3 higher level classes, meaning all of those classes are college credit classes. Yeah.
So let me break in here. International baccalaureate. That means she will receive a United States degree for high school, and she will also receive a degree in a European degree. So I love international baccalaureate because in Power to Youth, we're going to have scholar athletes. Yes. You will not be around us and not be a scholar. We're going to get you to your place. So I'm very proud of her because she has a heavy schedule. Because in the event, also in addition to being our bowling champion, what else do you do?
I play basketball.
Play basketball, and she's amazing.
Um, yeah, I have played JV the last 2 years at North Neck, and I've led them. Well, we as a team.
I hear that. Go ahead and say it. I love you.
As a team, we lost both seasons, 4 games in total.
That's impressive.
Yeah, being one of the leaders on the team, I have taken us to extraordinary heights. And
I love that vocabulary. You know I do. You know I do.
And just being the JV basketball team, and I push us to the limits, and we just get it done.
Okay, all right. See, I'm smiling. And that's what Empower Youth and Multiple Intelligence Project is about. My youth, our youth, they're amazing. God has given us these intelligences. He said He gave us our gifts without repentance and from the time we were born. He has called upon us to pray about our kids' gifts and to know what they are. So, with all that being said, I didn't just get the idea of always giving the kids their multiple intelligence tests. And the interesting thing about it, the background is in 1983, a gentleman named Dr. Howard Gardner out of Harvard University said there's other ways that kids are smart and that youth are smart. And it's apparent because too many adults were revamping themselves or doing something else different because they hated their jobs in their 40s and their 50s. So I want you to imagine for a moment, you're on the playground. And I want you to think about all the things kids do when you were a kid that you saw on the playground. You saw kids jumping rope, while kinesthetic. You saw another one over in the corner talking, linguistic. You saw a kid over there, he's caring for somebody, interpersonal. You saw the kid that everybody's gathered around, interpersonal. Right? All these things. You saw little kids over there drawing in the sand, visual, spatial. But then something happened. We got to school. Yes. And the big things that we talk about in school what's the 2 big things we got to be in school? Math and what? Language arts. Say it. Say it a little louder.
Language arts.
So our culture is really, we esteem highly the highly articulate kid, or the kid that has logical mathematical. So what about everybody else? So we got to school, and all of a sudden, my math, my art intelligence doesn't matter anymore. My music gift doesn't matter anymore. So God created us creative, right? Made us creative, but now I'm not creating anymore. So we have literally allowed our systems to take the creativity right out of us. And now you have kids getting suspended, hating school, cutting, missing all these school, and nobody is asking why. But why does every day my kids come to school? Because they know they are smart. And even if I have to get them that day, they still come back because they know that another day starts. So with all that being said, Mr. George said, what you really have is a movement. Because I said one day I want to be able to see 50 kids in the Board of Ed, which I ran for 3 terms from where I came from, so I know how they think. I just want them sitting there with multiple intelligence shirts on. Because they know the theory. We've been taught it as teachers, but we don't use it. Not as much, or individually. So the 2 things I want to champion, and Ashlyn reminds me of one, is the interpersonal child. Everybody says they're shy. Are you shy?
Sometimes.
That is something that's been put here. You're reflective, right?
Yes.
She is. I know she is. She's that kid that sits back. She's not going to just jump into anything. She is interpersonal. But we call them shy as if that is a negative. Instead of really getting to understand who our kids are and what their intelligences are. So that's one of I'm championing. I'm like, we have some shy kids, but not all the kids that we call shy are shy. So tell me some of the other things you do.
Besides just being an IB at North Neck, I would of course, I'm in Power League of the youth.
Proud of you, that's right.
And I bowl for the league there with my brother, and it's like we're a duo, so nobody can really break us up.
That's the truth, and we're gonna see him soon too. That's the linguistic one right there.
And I just, outside of school, I like to just lay back, and I love to just look at life differently than everybody else does, because sometimes you look at life as if it's just all one big theory or one big dream, but we have to look at it as if we're the dream. So I want to look at myself like I'm a big dream, so, and I don't want to let my mom down or my brother. I just
Where did you hear that one? Oh, job done, Miss Davis.
I just want to go to school after high school with the IB diploma and on the full ride for bowling.
See, and this is what I love. She is awesome in basketball. And she came to me one day, she says, I want to bowl. And I was like, I want you to do both. But I love it because people don't get, you can bowl from, we have kids that are 6 to 21. You can have singles, doubles, team. You'll never lose your scholarship if you get help for bowling because there's other people on the team. And it's a finesse game. It's not about strength, although we have some powerful bowlers. We have some kids who have never bowled because we have college teams that come and they tutor us. We have pros that come and tutor us. And we have other coaches. So we have kids that started at 0 that are bowling. I think the lines is as high was like, what, 249 one day? 190. She's bowling around one. She's hit 2, but she's been bowling for a while. How many bowling balls you have?
I have 3.
3? I'm surprised you only had 3. What I want to say too about the multiple intelligence is my other one that I really want to get to talk about. And today we're doing the body kinesthetic. We're talking about that kid that as they move, they're smart. And the reason why it's dear to me because I have so many young men. That's your second highest intelligence. We move. But when we learn how to, some people, their brain just connects so well when they move. But if you're not allowed to use that gift or strengthen that gift, like who was the one we can all talk about, Michael Jordan. He didn't make his high school basketball team, but the gift was there. Now, if he had never been allowed to nurture that gift or just listen to an adult that said, I'm sorry, you're not going to make the team. He could have just gave up, and that's what kids do because kids listen to adults. So that's why even when my teacher said, I don't like math, I'm like, don't say I'm not good at math. We have all 9 intelligences. We all have a top 3 or 4. We have the literacy net test you can take, and I encourage adults to take it too. Because again, when I hear my adults say, well, I don't like, well, what are you really supposed to be doing? What is your purpose? Because that's not it. That's not your sweet spot, as our producer says. That's not. What is it? So my other one is that, because I have too many boys being suspended because they like to move. And you're telling them to sit in the chair for 45, 50, 90 minutes. And when we bring it up, and now they know I do it, they know all my kids get the test. But why is this school over here say that's a good idea, and this school not? Why does this artist in this school get to take a class, but this artist over here gets put in music and never has a class, and doesn't like music? That's not their strength. My other one is that linguistic kid. You're a good student, but you talk too much. No, I'm linguistic, and you need to face it. You need to give me discussions and round robins and debates. And I heard this story from this lady last night. This lady, I was at a networking event. She was Indian, and she was saying, you know, what you say rings true because my kid wanted to lay down in school and get up and sit on the ball and do all of this. He's a boy. And she had to wind up taking him out because they wanted to label him ADD. So his mom took him out. So do you know how many kids I have labeled ADD that are not? They're just body kinesthetic. And you know what he is today, because he's also linguistic, he has so many awards for debate because his brain connects as he moves. And in debate, you get to move. Whether it's your hands, whether it's a teacher, you get to move from place to place. You get to, go against that other person. You get to move. And he said, Mom, thanks for taking me out. I didn't understand the time because he would rather take the medicine to be able to be in school. But now he has all these awards for debate in college as a result of his mom saying no. And so she was like, you know what, you really need to tell your story, and I'm going to be praying. And I love it when other coaches say they're going to pray. And listen, pray, because eventually that's right, if you want to get to where God is, he'll lead you. And again, another lady, she said, she's shy. And then she said, well, but on this hand, I did this. I said, because you're not shy. Mm-hmm. It's interpersonal. Read all about it. And she said, when you said it just connected with me, like, that makes sense. Yes, it does. So when I see people like Ashlyn that are reflective, Ashlyn is going to help us chart this movement. I am looking for 9 kids to help us literally brand this movement. And she is going to help us brand our body kinesthetic piece. You're going to meet her brother. I'm going to be talking to our producers because we have 4 shows. And she I'm all about youth. Everything that we do at our company is all youth powered. And Jalen Davis is our linguistic orator. I call him Mr. President. That is his tag. I do. And they're unstoppable together. And I had talked to Miss Sally before about having a program called Youth Speaks. And I would like to have Youth Speaks with Jalen Davis on that 4th week where youth get to say what youth want to say and have discussion, because there's a lot of things that they can do to help change our world, but we're not listening. So if God gave them the gifts without repentance, and if he gave it to them from the beginning, why are we waiting so late? Because then we wonder why they won't, because they've been squelched for so long. So that's our movement. So we're looking for kids to help us brand some of the other branches that we'll be talking about, and what we're going to be doing with the Multiple Intelligence Project, in addition to bringing on people like Ashlyn, so you can see who she is and what she does and what she's looking to do later. What do you want to do later when you get big, when you grow up?
I just know after high school, I want to major in computer science.
So again, that fits with her intelligence. And that's what I want parents to do. I want parents to let kids break out. I had a gentleman, he was like, his daughter wanted to be a photographer. He said, photographers don't make any money. I'm like, that was dumb. And she got sick, and he got her camera, and now she was our resident photographer. She made money. Then when we had the Multiple Intelligence Project, she was there. Jim was running for council. He asked her to come do some things. She made money. Then Charmaine called me last Saturday. Where's Gia? $100 for 2 hours. She makes money. And now she's on her way with full scholarship to FIT for advertising. But the eye that she is going to have as a result of being mentored now is going to blow everybody away. They're going to be throwing money at her. And that is our gift to our youth, is that we want our youth connected to schools in knowing where they're going by the end of their junior year. No kid under me is going to be waiting to senior year to figure out where he is going. And we're going to be, and everybody knows, if you connect with Independent Youth, you got to mentor one of my kids. And Miss Sally and Pastor Sally, they're offering some, we're going to be talking about some internships that they're offering, and other people are saying the same. And you know what? That's what God wants. That's what he wants, for us to get back connected to our youth. We sit there and we talk bowling sometimes, but when they put the scores out, where they say, these kids are what? These kids are bowling. I'm like, go down there and tell them. Don't let them wonder, because the kids listen to adults. And it's time for us to stop talking about them and be about them. So now I'm saying, come up in our schools. Tell forget what your kid says. Come up in our schools. So that is what the Multiple Intelligence Project is all about. So every week we're going to be focusing on a different intelligence. And as we go out, you'll see that she's interpersonal and not shy, because she can get on the mic just like anybody else. She's that quiet storm. She's going to lead her team, right?
Yes.
Because guess what? Leadership is in there, right? But if she was shy, who would be following? Nobody. That's right. Nobody. But she's interpersonal, and I love it. And I can't wait for people to see how wonderful she is. So, with that being said, you have anything you want to say about yourself or multiple intelligence, or about the kids coming to be a part of Empowered Youth, because we're so wonderful and all that stuff?
Well, one thing I know is that Miss Gray keeps me in check. Especially
with love.
Especially where my grades are concerned, I can never slack in school. If I slack, I won't be able to do half the things I'm able to do now. So that is one thing that I'm proud of with myself. with being in school and especially pushing myself to the limits and being in IB and doing things outside of school. Like I play the saxophone as well.
See, that's her intelligence. We getting all three of that scholarship. We getting the scholarship dollar, we getting the bonus scholarship, and we getting the music scholarship. We're not playing. We're not playing. I'm sorry. I got excited.
It's good. It's all good. But I'm in the symphonic band at my school, and we get about like 6 to 10 pieces of music for a concert. Right now, I have about 6 right now. But I've been playing the saxophone since I've been in the 6th grade. I was in National Junior Honor Society in 8th grade. I've been just doing a lot in order to make it look good on my transcript for my college opportunities.
Okay, and we're going to make sure all 141 colleges know who she is. But she's already pinpointed North Carolina A&T, and they have already called us looking for bowlers.
All right.
So she will get to be on the North Carolina A&T bowling team. And I have one other student, Leslie, who is also going to be recruited by North Carolina. And they're going to actually be teammates because they're both juniors. So that's going to be amazing. That's going to be amazing. And I'm not stopping to all 141 colleges know that we have bowling, and that all parents know that you can bowl your way to what? You can bowl your way to what?
College.
You can bowl your way to what?
College.
You can bowl your way to college. That's right. That's right. So with that being said, we want to hear from you. We're going to create the Multiple Intelligence page. Please join us. And if you want more information, we are on Facebook at Empower the Youth. We are on Twitter at Empower the YOUT7. And we are on Instagram at Empower_the_youth. And we got Snapchat, but they handle that on Snapchat. But that's where the youth are, so they do the Snapchat. And call us, because you know what? This conversation needs to take place outside, extended conversation after we have our broadcast. And again, come along for the ride and let us develop your life plan and show you what's your genius. All right, so, want to say anything else?
Nope.
That's an interpersonal person for sure. All right, well, see you next week. Are we good? We are good. See you next week with Empower the Youth, Rochelle V Gray, the Multiple Intelligence Project. And I want to say thank you for coming and being my first guest. You're welcome.